So literally yesterday, I signed up for a 122 or 200 kilometer ultramarathon in Canada with over 8,000 meters of elevation gain. Why the fuck did I do that? So in this video, I thought I'd explain why the fuck I would do something like that. So, I'm not adverse to running races, right? I have done a 45 miler in the past, which was the Green Man Ultra Marathon. I've run a half marathon every day for a month. I've done the Goggins Challenge, which is the 4x4 48, so 4 miles every 4 hours for 2 days. I've done that twice, and I've also doubled it, so I've done 4 miles every 4 hours for 4 days. I've done multiple Ironmans, half Ironmans, still need to take off the full one, loads of half marathons, few marathons. So yeah, I thought, you know what, this year, let's go for something absolutely massive. Let's go run 122 miles. I don't know if you guys know this, but the whole reason why I have this YouTube channel in the first place is because I didn't have that older brother when I was a kid. When I was 16, I felt lost. I was depressed. I was riddled with addictions. I was obese. I got bullied in school. And that's all fine, right? But there were people in my life like Goggins, Jocko Willink, Ross Edgley, Andrew Huberman, all these absolute savages who put their life online and they share it, that got me out of that hole. And all I want to be for one other person in this world is just that older brother, you know, that guy who says, you know what, I used to be just like you. I was hopeless, I was lost, I didn't know what I was doing in my life, I didn't want to go on, and yet now here I am. I have a business with nearly 17 employees. I'm traveling the world with my wonderful girlfriend. I've done all these crazy ultra endurance events while staying strong, and I'm about to run 122 miles. You can do this, right? There is absolutely no reason on a long enough time horizon, if you put in the work, that you can't be and do what I do. It's very, very, very simple. It just means taking the first step. It might mean I used to consume people like Alex Hormozy, people like Goggins, because I wanted what they had. They had this drive, this spark in them, and I wanted that. Don't get me wrong, some days that spark isn't in me, very much so. Some days I wake up and I don't want to do it. But on those days that I don't want to do it, I say to myself, make him proud. Now, I don't know who him is. In my eyes, it's God. It's my younger self, my 16-year-old kid, or myself. It's my future son. It's the guys that follow me and get inspiration from this. I don't know who it is, but my tagline is always, make him proud. Get the work done. Get it finished. Don't let him down. Get it done. Okay? And the nice thing is, that's gonna mean an absolute ton of zone 2 miles every single morning, where I'm gonna be filming and chatting to you guys. So, So why sign up for something like that? An event that's going to take probably, I think it's about 40 hours to get it done. So when I did a 45 miler, that took me 10 hours. And this is basically triple that. So I reckon 38, 37 hours, almost 2 days straight of running, which is going to be absolutely mental. So number one is it forces me to train. Many times throughout the year, I find that I kind of get a bit lax in my training, especially around winter. This year, what I usually do is I do a massive challenge in winter, like the Goggins challenge, or the challenge I did actually, which is this challenge for November, essentially running over 600 kilometers in November. And what happens is I do a massive challenge and I get really, really, really bored of running. I hate it, and it's the last thing I want to do. Then I usually stop for December. I kind of get back into it for January. I keep all my training going. I keep all my strength training and all that stuff going. But the specific running stuff always goes around that kind of time. And so this event actually is August 8th to August 10th. It's going to be in Canada, and it's called the Fat Dog 120 miler. Fun. And also, just quickly, I am going to be doing multiple 100k runs leading up to that. So I got one in Beaver Lake, which is a 10k loop, and you just do 10 laps, and you try and do that within 24 hours, I believe. I got another one in Valemount, which is 100 kilometers, but again, same kind of thing, very hilly. The Beaver one is completely flat. The one in Valemount is very much fucking hilly. Classic Canada. And then, the 120 miler will be in August, which should be fun. So yes, I consistently find myself coming back to doing hard things, even when after them I swore to myself that I would never do it again. And number one is it makes everything else easy. So even let's just take today, for example. I've got my first run back. It's a nice, easy 11k run. And this will probably be one of the hardest things that I do today, even though it's like a nice, easy zone 2 run. But still, right? It's probably going to be the hardest thing that I actually do today. But when you start doing 100k runs for fun and 50k runs for fun, that's when you know that you've started to acclimatize to those longer distances, you know? Because when I first started running, I thought a half marathon was a long way. I thought a 10k was a long way. And now I'm actually starting to contemplate 120 miles, you know? And actually starting to go, you know what, okay, I can break that down. I can put that into chunks. And so yeah, I'd say number one, it makes the rest of your life easier. Now, I'm going to expand on that. It's not just running, and it's not just day-to-day life. I think also like your mood, because obviously getting out and running every morning, everyone knows it's good for you. Everyone knows it makes you feel amazing. But when you know that you've got this higher purpose, this higher task that you're working towards, suddenly everything else becomes irrelevant that isn't that. And all these stupid day-to-day silly things just shrink into irrelevance because you're working on something so big, right? And I've got one other big goal apart from the ultra, which I'll be touching on in my YouTube. So make sure to subscribe if you want to see more of these. But it just makes sure that everything else in life that isn't important just shrinks into irrelevance. Okay. Number 2, why I signed up to a 120 miler. So, if I'm being honest, I love having things to train for. When I've got something in the calendar and it's there, I know that I have to do it, right? Especially something this big and hard. And it means that it's always there in the back of my mind. When I wake up in the morning and I go, I don't want to run today, I say to myself, yo, every run that you do now is another brick in the house to build towards running 120 miles, 122 really. And so it really puts things in perspective when you're going out running a 10K and that is 1/20th of the race. Pretty crazy, right? And so having these bigger things, this bigger goal, like I would almost call it like a higher power in a way. It means that you feel humble, you feel small. It's almost like when you're looking out at the sea or you look at the stars. When something's just so big and massive, it just means that you keep right size and you realize that, hey, I can't control everything. Like, I could do all the work for this event to the perfect level, and I could rock up on the day, something bad will happen, and that's it, you know? And so it shows me that things are out of my control, but it also shows me that there are so many things in life that are much bigger than me, and this task that I'm working towards, I guess I'll start to gleam a light into it. I get this opportunity to document the process, to talk about it, to share my experience, and maybe motivate one of you guys to get up and go for your first run, go for your first walk, to go hit the gym with a friend. And that to me is fucking worth every single mile. All right, so far we've got why I signed up to an 122 mile ultramarathon. Number 1, it's hard and it makes everything else easy. Number 2 is by doing hard things, your day-to-day life becomes easy and it forces you to train for it. Number 3, it gives me an opportunity to inspire people, not just myself, my past self, my future son, my brothers out there in the world, God, because I want to be in God's image and whatever God wants me to be. Pretty cool. Just some other quick reasons as to why I'm doing this. Another reason, the people that I get to meet along the way. Going to these run clubs, climbing these mountains, learning from these absolute legends, that for me is what life is all about. I felt lost when I was in a place where people weren't doing anything. I felt like I had something more inside of me. And the more I'm around people who run their own business, who are doing Ironmans and ultramarathons, who are pushing the limits, the more I feel at home and the more I feel inspired to do that kind of stuff. And the more I can push them as well. And so really is getting in that environment. The best way to learn French, live in France. And so I get to meet some incredible people along the way. And then the final reason that I'm doing this is very, very simple. I'll be dead soon. Maybe in 80 years, 70 years. But how many things do you say to yourself, I'll just do it next year? Then you say, I'll just do it next year. I'm just coming up to my 10.5K right now. Actually a pretty good pace. I'm very surprised. Running at about a 5:15 pace. But I could have waited until I was 30, 40, 50 to do this. But fuck it. Why not just do it now? And the reason why people don't do it is because they're afraid of failing. If they fail, they're afraid of what that one person, their mom, their dad, their brother, their sister, their rival, their best friend will say. When in reality, let's be real, no one gives a fuck. No one cares. You do you. If you want to do something like this, fuck everyone else. You do it. Because I'm telling you, you will be a better person because of this. You will become better. It might take some deep work mentally to figure out why you quit things. It might take getting out of bed at 4:30 some days to get your shit in. But you know what? That for me is so fucking worth it. Because when I'm on my deathbed, I'm gonna look back and think, I squeezed every last drop of potential out of that motherfucker. I wanna be the guy that people think about when they lay in. I wanna be the guy people think about when they aren't working hard enough and they know that I'm out here doing 10 miles a day. Not to put them down, just to know that there's someone in this world that came from a much worse place physically and mentally than them who is doing the work now, which gives them no excuse as to why they aren't doing it. And so guys, that's it. The 5 reasons why I signed up to run 122 miles with 8,000 meters of elevation gain on August 8th. Now, if you want to follow along on the journey, you better hit subscribe. Comment below if you're hyped. This gets you fucking hyped for your own training. And give it a like if you like this video, and share it with someone who maybe needs a kick up the ass or a bit of motivation, or even just someone that you wanted to share this with. All right, guys, I love you all. Make him proud. Let's do this, guys. I'll see you in the next one.